Please subscribe my channel. I need only 130 subscriber. I never thought my marriage would come down to a single sentence. Yet there she stood in our living room, arms crossed, eyes sharp with defiance, and her voice echoing in my head like a final verdict. If you don't trust me with my ex every weekend, maybe we're done. It felt like someone had slammed a hammer against my chest. How do you even respond to something like that? I married Claire because I believed in us. I believed in her. Trust wasn't something we had to talk about. It was the foundation of everything we built. And now, suddenly, she was making my trust the bargaining chip in some twisted game involving her ex-boyfriend, Mark. At first, I thought she was joking. She had always been bold, sometimes dramatic, but this? No. No wife should be saying such a thing. I laughed nervously and asked, "Why on earth would you want to spend every weekend with Mark? We're married, Claire. I thought we left that part of your life behind." Her reply was cold, almost rehearsed. "Because he's my friend. Because he understands me. You knew I kept in touch with him before we got married, and I'm not cutting people out just because you feel insecure. If you trust me, it shouldn't matter." In that moment, I felt the ground beneath me shifting. It wasn't just about trust, it was about boundaries. What kind of wife insists on dedicating weekends to her ex? A part of me wanted to explode, to yell, to demand answers. But another part of me, the part that had spent years loving her, just stood there, frozen. I remembered the little things I had sacrificed for this marriage. Canceling late-night work events to be home on time. Selling my old car because she hated how loud it was. Even moving cities so she could be closer to her family. Sacrifices that I made without resentment, because I believed marriage meant choosing each other, every single day. But standing there, staring at her stubborn face, I realized Claire wasn't choosing me anymore. She was choosing him. Or maybe she was choosing herself. Either way, I was being pushed to the sidelines of my own marriage. That night I barely slept. Claire had gone to bed as if nothing had happened, scrolling through her phone while I stared at the ceiling, replaying her words again and again. "If you don't trust me with my ex every weekend, maybe we're done." The ultimatum wasn't just a test of trust. It was a declaration that her happiness came before our marriage. The next morning, I tried to reason with her. "Claire, can't you see how unreasonable this sounds? Weekends are supposed to be for us. Why would you even want to spend that kind of time with Mark?" She sighed, rolling her eyes like I was some naive child. "Because he's important to me. He was part of my life long before you came along, and I'm not going to erase that. If you can't handle that, then maybe we're not as strong as I thought." Her words cut deeper than any blade. Not as strong as she thought. We had weathered financial struggles, family drama, even the loss of a pregnancy 2 years ago. Through all of that, I had stood by her side. And now she was telling me that our strength depended on whether I could stomach her spending weekends with a man she once loved? As the days passed, the tension grew thicker. She started dressing up more on Fridays, saying she was just catching up with Mark. She would come home late Sunday night, exhausted but smiling, as if she had just returned from some rejuvenating retreat. I tried asking her what they did. She'd shrug. "Just talked. Caught up. You know, normal friend stuff." But her vague answers only fueled the storm inside me. My friends warned me that I was being played. "No wife needs that much time with her ex," one of them said. "She's disrespecting you, man." I wanted to believe Claire. I really did. I wanted to hold on to the idea that my wife was loyal, that this was just some weird phase. But deep down, a gnawing suspicion started to take root. It wasn't just about the time she spent away. It was about the distance growing between us. The laughter we once shared over silly things was gone. The warmth in her hugs had turned cold. And every time I looked into her eyes, I no longer saw the woman who vowed to be mine. I saw a stranger slipping further away. The breaking point came one Saturday evening. I had planned a quiet dinner, hoping to remind her of what we used to have. But as I lit the candles and set the table, Claire stood by the door, car keys in hand. "I told you," she said flatly. "I'm going to Mark's. Don't wait up." Something inside me snapped. "Claire, enough." My voice shook with rage and pain. "You can't keep walking out of this marriage every weekend and expect me to just accept it. This isn't trust. It's betrayal dressed up as friendship. For a moment, she froze, her expression hardening. Then with a cruel smirk she whispered, "If you don't like it, maybe you're right, we're done." And with that, she slammed the door behind her, leaving me alone with the fading echo of her words. I sat in that silence for hours, staring at the empty chair across from me. All the memories of us, our wedding vows, our first home, the dreams we once built together, flashed like cruel reminders. I had given her my loyalty, my love, my years. And in return, she chose him. But something else stirred inside me that night. Not just heartbreak, clarity. I finally understood that trust isn't blind obedience. It's mutual respect. And Claire had crossed every boundary of respect a wife should honor. The next morning, while she was still out, I packed her belongings into boxes. Every dress, every trinket, every reminder of the woman I thought I married. When she returned, shocked to find her life stacked neatly by the door, I handed her the divorce papers I had already signed. She sputtered, furious. "You're really ending this? Over something so small?" I looked her dead in the eye. "It wasn't small, Claire. It was every weekend. It was every lie wrapped in the word trust. You didn't lose my trust, you destroyed it." For the first time in months, I felt peace wash over me. She grabbed her things and stormed out, but the silence she left behind no longer felt empty. It felt like freedom. Sometimes the hardest choice is walking away from the person you thought you couldn't live without. But I've learned that staying in a marriage where respect is gone is far lonelier than being alone. And as the door shut for the last time, I knew one thing for certain. I hadn't lost a wife. I had reclaimed myself.